Yes, good afternoon once again. Sorry, it's not my fault. Technologies, um, sometimes they go up and down. Uh, just to start with, like the theme of the conference, showcasing geo best practice of geo best practice in Africa. We, as a NASDA team, we want to talk about the awesome analysis and output of GIS, ArcGIS software for environmental management. As you know, NASDA is the leading space agency of Africa. I know it might cause some doubts, some people, but we are still the leader anyway. And to move on, we have lots of collaboration, and Sambus, we are not new to them. They are very, very close to us. And we've been doing a lot of research, and we have lots of collaborations with the World Bank, UN, and all. So moving forward, just the outline of this presentation is going to be an introduction, few cases where we've used ArcGIS, in Nigeria, just very few, because we don't want to take much of your time, and in conclusion. So as you know, that geospatial analysis provides a platform to do the following, which is the mapping, the measuring, the monitoring, and also modeling and management. And from previous presenters, they've been able to talk about a lot using each and every of these, member of these 5 hours. Nigeria presently is faced with lots of challenges, being it environmental challenges, security challenges, socioeconomic, disaster and emergency management, especially climate change. And as you know, ESRI is one of the leading producer. I think it's the leading producer for some geospatial software, and this software are so powerful, and especially mapping and spatial analytics and statistical tools. Yeah. So for going straight to the few cases, first we try to look at in the socioeconomic aspects, looking at ancestral heritage on floodplain, um, flood floodplain residents and solid waste disposal pattern in flood events in Kogi State. The main aim of this thing is of this particular use case is to sensitize the people on environmental ethics as the risk to flooding and generate a flood vulnerability map to identify communities at floodplain in Kogi. Because we try to talk about solid waste management. Most people they have this attitude of just dumping waste in the drainage, which ends up causing some environmental issues later. So these are the data. I don't have to go through much of the data. We use SRT, Nigerians at X plus B, and NASDA, we have to use our products. So we have other data gotten from NASDA, and we also had field work and things were done. If you see, when you see Aderoju et al, and like I'm the leader, I'm the team lead of the work, not that I did the work alone. So most of the work that we do in NASDA, probably after we've been able to pile up the reports, we try to come up with publication from it. So in simple terms, we talk about just the study area, just to display the beauty of ArcGIS, how clean the map is. Even if we try to use other software, we try to bring it to the ArcGIS environment so that we make it, the beauty of map making as ArcGIS is first class. No doubt about that. And this is where the images gotten from the Kogi, see, waste are being dumped into drainage systems. And also you can see, because people have this ideology of not in my backyard, NIMBY. So they don't want to drop it at the back of their house. They just want to go drop it somewhere, usually at night. So this unethical disposal of solid waste has actually led to a lot of, especially flood and other things. And you know, plastics especially have the time of residence in the environment for over 200 years. So it never decomposes, it keeps staying there, and we have issues all over the world based on plastic waste. And these are area views of the 2012 flood. I can see different communities that have been inundated. You can see the flood actually caused a lot of economic loss and even life. So some of the maps generated from this use case is the Kogi State digital elevation model. You can see you can see the higher points at 67, and you can see the lower points, and the communities at the floodplains are actually displayed. So we try to put the on the other part, the flood vulnerability and hazard zoning map. We try to come up with there's the part of ArcGIS special needs tool. In short, the toolbox of ArcGIS is just marvelous. There's no way of describing it. It's no words of describing it, but so far so good. We've been able to come up with maps showing the before and after. You can see the red zone showing the flood extent and shows areas that were really, really affected. So based on this, we try to come up with a conceptual model to sensitize the people, which leads to, we follow the concept of channels of distribution actually. So now we try to look at initiators, people that can actually initiate this message. What are they trying to, which includes the government, the NGOs, the private organization, traditional rulers, public groups, trying to disseminate messages such as environmental ethics and discipline waste disposal practices and solid waste management and benefits through a channel, which is through the media, in schools, in district curriculum, participatory programs, political will and legislations. And what procedure are they going to do to channel this to the people, to the recipients? So the procedures includes under media, stars and role models, cartoons, and like the other presenter mentioned, story maps, yeah, adverts and broadcast, institutional curricula in schools and religious homes, yeah, you know, they say cleanliness is godliness. Participatory programs, symposia, workshop, charity, and mutual benefits, political will, financial support, basic infrastructure, and equality. Yeah, if there's political will, infrastructure will be provided, support will be provided, and also legislation will also come in place, where implementation and enforcement will also come in place. So all this information will be going to the recipient. So if you have this built in people's subconscious mind, it will manifest in the conscious mind, and this will actually serve its purpose. So we can maintain an aesthetic environment. So the next one is, we're looking at the assessment of renewable energy. So we have to look at climate change inclusive, renewable energy and solid waste management for sustainable power generation in Nigeria. So the basic objectives are to identify and map out various regions with renewable energy potential in Nigeria, and to consider municipal solid waste as a consistent and available resource for power generation. You can see images of this is Shiro Dam, this is the tidal at Eleko Beach. This is the potential of solar in Sokoto. You can see wind farm in Katsina, also waste in Onitsha. So not to go too far, we just try to go straight into the products we got from using ArcGIS, which, for example, this is the water resources hydropower potential map, showing displaying all the water resources potential in Nigeria, and also the tidal part, which is the coastline. And we also have the hydroelectric dams displayed, and also Nigerian dams, not for hydro, but maybe for irrigation. And the second one displays the solar irradiation map for Nigeria. You can see the topmost, the northern part, which have high solar irradiation, and also the mid part. You can see towards the southern part, which is the rainforest in Nigeria, all the solar irradiation is used up for photosynthesis. So it's easy for us to establish a solar farm up north in Nigeria. So when we now talk about solar, wind, or water, because all these are affected by climate change, they vary over time. Wind is a function of location, depends on where it's windy. For water resources in dry season, we have a problem of lots of water in the dam, and so that might affect the turbine and the generator and all that. And also we look at the solar irradiation. During the rainy season, we might be having problems with that. We know even people with solar panel, so when it's raining, we have less energy less energy output. But looking at waste, for every settlement, this is a settlement map of Nigeria, and also showing the population map by the side. So we know that for every where we have settlement, there's always human activity and the plus population. There must be waste generation is inevitable. And in Nigeria, the average waste generation per person per day is 0.56 kilogram per person per day. So if you have this one to do, we can actually come up with we can actually try to come up with different kind of waste to energy plan, which can also serve as a complementary to our present waste power generation delivery system. So moving on, we want to look at the GIS-based analysis for generation has always been a problem. We need to know the best location to actually site sanitary landfill. This can actually give birth to maybe a waste to energy institution to energy recovery over time, or landfill gas exploration for electricity. So we are trying to diversify because renewable energy is key, and also we can't just leave the waste to be there. We need to diversify according to United Nations or IPCC regulation. So this for GIS-based analysis for sanitary landfill stability in Nigeria, this study aims at identifying suitable sites, as said, in Amak and Buhari Area Council. The data displayed this from NASRDA, from GLCF, from NGSA, from European Archives, and also field investigation. So we try to look at the multi-criteria available. We look at the World Bank and we look at the factor criteria table from the Environmental Protection Agency landfill site map for Ireland, which is very reasonable. So there we had to use headers, imagine a software to do the land use land cover classification, where the product, for you to have a very good output mapping, so we had to bring it into the ArcGIS environment to do the mapping for us. You can see the over time within 10 years, you can see that the built up areas where people live increased over almost 100% over the period of time within 10 years, because Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria and it attracts a lot of both local and international people. So next is this is the landfill suitability, because we did a lot of analysis, like gradient distance using the special analysis tool, and also we use the overlay analysis over the period of time. So it's for the results. After we've been able to run all the criteria and all, we had to do that in ArcGIS. So we discovered that after all we did, 6 sites were identified and as highly suitable. Then only 4 were preferred due to the land size and also intersection with the sensitive land use based on the city plan in Abuja. So while we've done this, so we had to look at the existing dump sites available. So we tried to overlay it on this land suitability map, such that we now notice that none was actually on the right part. Out of 8 existing dump sites, 7 were located in non-suitable sites, and while 1 in Karianya dump site was located at the least suitable site. So moving forward, one of the use cases we use ArcGIS to actually look at space-based assessment of telecommunication map, which is base transceiver station in Nigeria, because we've given a lot of reports about the health status of having telecommunication satellites in also close to households, and we knew this technology was brought to us. People have been living there over a period of time. So because of this, we had to run some kind. This study was actually used to validate the Nigerian SAT2 data, which made a lot of the Nigerian SAT2 data we had to see maybe it's actually accurate. And so with this, the study was aimed to investigate the potential risk of BTS, base transceiver station, otherwise known as communication mass, on human health. So you can see the map is a bit blurry. It's still a little bit, you can actually see it. Special distribution of BTS in AMAC environment in Nigeria, in Abuja. So this is, and going forward, this is a higher resolution of using Nigerian SAT2 data. And you can see the buffers were actually assigned, administered based on the Gazette, the criteria available in Nigeria, which is by NASRDA or NCC, that's the National Standards Environmental and Regulatory Agency, and the NCC, National Communication Commission, where they have their standards, a little bit controversial, but based on that, we had to use these standards. And unfortunately, most of the telecommunication BTS actually failed based on the standard. So we noticed that out of 126 BTS as are then in Abuja, because some were actually, you see on a particular stand, you see because of co-location, you have like 3 or 4 service provider on the mast, so on the BTS. So we're able to do that, and we noticed that 119 failed and just 7 passed. So it's unfortunate, but we've been having lots of cancer cases, and we can't totally attribute it to this, but it's contributing. So looking at the hotspots map of BTS, where we have BTS, we had to, based on the criteria and also residents, so we had to come up using a canal density extension of the ArcGIS, and this was done effectively. All the reddish parts shows that those areas are hazardous to human health. Moving forward, okay, we have orders that we did. There are ongoing projects. For now, but it's not just NASRDA, but it's in collaboration with other multinational. For example, we have the COVAX mapping in AMAC, Nigeria. This was done for the whole country, but we're still going to get more. Showcasing the earth facility and also the service they provide, and see the coverage over the period of time. Sorry. So it shows which hospital, what is the coverage of that hospital or clinic. So this was actually to serve as probably for maybe if vaccines for COVID-19 is to be assigned to some places where it will go to, and also some other medical facility. The next is presently the climate change division is carrying out an ongoing project trying to identify emission hotspots in some parts of Abuja. Well, this was done using Sentinel-5P, and we were able to go to the field and try to superimpose this on the map, and this was the results that we got. So the beauty of this thing is, of this research is, the research is going to be done, but the display and the visualization is, I must give it to Esri for ArcGIS is the best tool for mapping. And in conclusion, I must say that space science and technology is the future, and the future is here. As geospatial data and analysis remains the new hub of many professions, the need to promote the use of geospatial software in Nigeria and Africa at large is imperative, and this can be done through education and outreach, capacity building among personnel of MGAs, academicians, and in secondary and tertiary institutions, so that we can be prepared for the present and future challenges. Thank you so much. Obrigado.
Wow, thank you very much, Doc. That was very insightful. Thank you for the presentation. Wow. Yeah, so straight away we are going to move on to the question and answer session, and just to start with, Doc, someone was asking, this from Wilfred Adeyi. She's asking, are these data open sourced?
Which of the data? Is it the ones I use? Yes, the data, most of the data, when you come to NASRDA, because NASRDA is not for Abuja people alone, it's for Nigeria and also for Africa. If you come around to apply for any kind of data, if we have it, we'll make it available. It's not rocket science. The thing about it is we've had issues in the past where people come to get some kind of data, huge data that is passed over along, and they end up doing some kind of business with it. So we want it for research. It should be for us, by us. We can't be going abroad to be buying data when we can actually develop us. It's a good thing. Ghana has also done a lot of good things through Sambus, and I think Ghana is growing, same as Nigeria and South Africa, and other African countries can also follow suit.